Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show on this Tuesday, September 5th, 2023. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad to have you guys here. Got a lot going on out there. Now, here's a little fact that you guys probably didn't know. Is back in around the year 2000, Russia wanted to join NATO. It says George Robertson recalls Russian president did not want to wait in line with other countries that so-called quote-unquote didn't matter. It says Vladimir Putin wanted Russia to join NATO, but did not want his country to have to go through the usual application process and stand in line with a lot of other countries. According to the former Secretary General of the Transatlantic Alliance. It says George Robertson, a former Labor Defense Secretary who led NATO between 1999 and 2003, said Putin made it clear at their first meeting that he wanted Russia to be part of Western Europe. They wanted to be part of that secure, safe, stable, prosperous West that Russia was out of at the time. So they wanted to join NATO. That's amazing. Now, in the big story today, well, I'm going to get to the big story in a minute. Oil prices are soaring to new highs after the Saudis and Russia surprised with extended production cuts. So these production cuts evidently are coming together, heel back to heel back to heel back. It means that Saudi and Russia are working together on this, and this is an oil-based economy, and they're coming in with this surprise extended production cut. It's only one thing. They want to see our inflation go a lot higher. And by gosh, this is the way to do it. There's a tropical storm developing right now. And this is going to brew into one heck of a bad hurricane. You know, guys know I don't report on hurricanes unless they're going to be a bad one. This one's going to be as strong as they come. And when it gets there with that final thing, it says 8 a.m. Sunday, when it's right down there, just in front of that little ways, maybe a day or two further out, it's going to hit an area where there's very, the winds that guide a hurricane, the guidance is going to be not really all that. It's going to, in other words, it's going to start to meander a little bit out in here, and it could go anywhere. Most likely, it'll start to do what's called a recurve and go up and start to curve and go out to sea. That's the most likely. I've been looking at the charting models. So we're going to have to wait and see where it's going to go once it gets in that slot. I mean, if it continued on that path, it would head right up and hit Georgia or South Carolina, up in that area. But I don't think it's going to continue on that path. I think it's going to turn. So anyway, let's take a look at this. Now, y'all wondering what this thing is. They're very popular. They're called a portable power station. And you plug them into your outlet and you charge them up. But they'll also charge off of a solar panel. And you can plug into that thing. Plug your house appliances into it, and it's got batteries inside, and it'll run as long as the batteries are up. But they carry a lot of power in them for a small unit that's handheld, and you can carry them around. Now, where I'm going with this is, picture a world where we get hit with an EMP and nothing's works. Your cars are fried. The computer in your cars are fried. Your people even have solar panels. Their solar panels are fried. People that have battery backup, it's all fried. The people who have generators, they can't get gas because the gas pumps, everything's fried, so they're only going to be good as long. And it'll wake up the whole neighborhood anyway, and they'll say, hey, that guy's got electricity, he's got a generator. Well, let's all go get his generator. You know? I'm going to point out to you guys is first, see this power thing here. Now take a look at this. This is a foldable solar panel kit. It folds right up into the size of a small briefcase. And they sell a lot of these, and some of them are a bit cheaper. This is a more expensive one, but they're the same idea. You fold them open and you set them out, and even on a cloudy day, you'll collect about a certain percentage. Like if this is a 200 watt one, but even on a cloudy day, you'd probably get 20 or 30 watts. And on a sunny day, you're probably going to be getting excess of 100 watts with a 200 watt panel. It's a lot of electricity you can collect from the sun. But what good is it if the EMP's fried it? And say you got this power box right here too. Well, what good is it if the EMP has fried it? Okay? So then there's these emergency radios right here. Right? And they can pick up AM, FM, shortwave, and weather channels. And they're great. But what good is it if the EMP has fried it? Okay, we're moving on here. And these are tablets. Now we're going to take these four things and we're going to take a look at them. The power box, the foldable solar panel, the emergency radio, and a tablet. You take these four items and you get them, okay? And maybe get an old suitcase or something. You know? You stuff all these items inside it, the suitcase, or inside an old cardboard box, or maybe you got a nice wooden box or whatever. Or even if you don't have any of that, if you don't have a wooden box, you don't have a cardboard box or nothing, just take the four items and wrap them all up with aluminum foil. You know the aluminum foil you put around a baked potato? This stuff right here. See it just above my head there. See her wrapping that in aluminum foil? You go around it and you go around it and you go around it, the aluminum foil. And you use up the whole roll. Maybe buy a couple rolls. It's cheap. Go round and round and round and round and round as many layers as you can. More layers the better with aluminum foil. Around those four items. Your tablet. And on your tablet, before you wrap it up and put it away, first off, turn it off so that the battery's not going to drain. And load it up, however many gigabytes you got of it, load it all up with entertainment stuff. Put all kinds of stuff on it. You can have it so that you got maybe on USB thumb drive, you got all this stuff for entertainment because you're going to need it. You want to have maybe some music that you like to listen to on there, maybe some old movies, stuff like that, right? So you turn your laptop off and you put it away with your not laptop, but your little... And why that over a laptop? You can use a laptop, but a laptop is going to draw a lot more power than a tablet. So you're probably better off with your tablet because you'll be able to run it 4 times longer off the juice you're going to be getting. And you're not going to be getting a lot of juice because all you've got then is that foldable solar panel. Okay, so take it all the 4 items, put them away and wrap them all in aluminum foil really well. Around and around and around. And when you're done, you can wrap it with a bungee cord or you can wrap it with some duct tape. And you got a bundle there. You got the 4 items inside there, you got a bundle. You put that bundle away. Because what happens is when the EMP hits, those 4 items that you wrapped in that aluminum foil with about 30 layers of aluminum foil are going to be the only electronics and probably in your whole community that still function. And what's more is, with the foldable solar panel, you can recharge. And you'll be the only person that's able to watch some movies or listen to some music and stuff. And you know how important that is? So what I've told you guys before what you need to survive. You need, first off, shelter to be out of the elements. Even if it's just an old tarpaulin, it's a hell of a lot better than being rained on. Okay. You need food. And even if all you got's an old bag of oatmeal, you're better off than the next guy. Way better off. You need water. And there's ways that you can filter water. Charcoal, for one thing. Sand. Even if you just got charcoal and sand and an old gutter pipe, you can turn that rainwater into fresh water if you know how. But you need water. And so you're going to have a certain amount of starting out water. In other words, when the crisis hits, you're probably not going to be expecting it to hit. Boom, it's going to hit out of nowhere. And how you know it's going to hit is the power's going to go out. The cell phone communications are going to go down. Everything's just going to stop. You're going to think it's going to come back on, but it ain't. So this is your entertainment kit. Because entertainment is one of the things that's almost as important to make you feel to survive this thing that's coming. It's almost important as all the other preparations you've probably made. And a lot of you guys have probably made a lot of preparations out there, and you've probably thought of entertainment. But what good is it going to be if the EMP burns out your entertainment? Your desktop don't work, your laptop don't work, and you get no electricity to run them anyway. So what I'm talking about here is something that would be able to, if you go for 2 weeks in this crisis and you're still alive, or maybe a month in, you're going to be craving some entertainment, something desperate. Seriously. And this will give it to you. This kit I'm talking about here. And this is something none of the other guys are mentioning on here. But now, if you're going to have something like that, now's the time to have it. And it's probably worth more than gold at a certain point. Okay. Said my piece about that. Now we're going to get into the top story today on my thing here. And it is this right here. We have an economy that's totally based on credit. More and more and more credit. And if you look at this thing, going back the whole length of time, all the way back to 1982, what you see here is this descending line going down, 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 down. What this means is, here credit was expensive back in 1982. Okay, and as this come down, as it slowly descended down, credit got cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and easier to obtain credit. And so the system thrived. And this is like almost fit. What is it? 82. It's like over 40 years. It's almost like 50 years. This is all you guys have, all we've ever known. In other words, our whole adult lives, this has been the trend, is this constantly downward spiral of cheaper and cheaper and cheaper credit till it hit rock bottom where credit was practically free. And so what happened is credit expanded like crazy. But you see what's happening here? Price of credit starting to go up. And you see that line, 5%? When we cross that line, and damn, we're getting damn close to it, credit's too expensive for our society, and we're used to cheap credit. Credit becomes too expensive. This is an explosion in the bond market. This is something we haven't seen in like forever. And now we're at the precipice in this bond market. And if this continues to rise, it's going to crush a credit-based system. All of these exorbitant bubbles, credit bubbles that have formed from this long thing of chain of down that cheaper and cheaper credit are going to pop. And when bubbles pop, they pop suddenly. They don't pop slowly. And this is the thing about it. We're right on the verge of all this popping. And it's the Fed's fault. And they think that they can handle it because it hasn't happened yet. And they're like, they're kind of like, You ever seen a prize fighter and he's right on? Let me at him, let me at him. Ah, da, 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 da. You got two prize fighters and they're coming together, you know, and one guy's let me at him, until he gets in the ring and he gets punched a few times, and then that's it. He's had enough. Just that quick, bing bang boom, and he's had enough and he wants out of there. First he wanted in as bad as he. That's the way with the Fed right now. They want in. They got the gloves off. They're ready. They think they're ready. When this thing hits them, 1, 2, bang-o, they're gonna want out. This is the eruption or explosion of something that's built up over all this period of time, going all the way back to 1982. Back when I was just a kid. It's been built over all these years, ready to explode. And when it blows up, they're going to wish they were on some other planet because they're responsible. And they're blowing it up. Okay, so we're going to get in there and take a look at the markets today. Silver price today, $23.57, is down 38 cents. Imagine that. The only thing in this credit-based system that's actually got some value is gold and silver. Everything else is fluff. It's like he said, the only real money is gold and silver. All the rest is credit. And look at the price being driven down. This is absurd. This is absurdity. Based on what the dollar is actually worth, nothing. And you can still buy an ounce of silver for $23.57 spot. Oh my gosh. Gold. 1926. It's down $11.90 on the day so far. Taking a look at cryptos today. Cryptos ain't doing so good. Bitcoin's 25,741. Ethereum is at 1635, and XRP's at 50 cents, 0.2. Taking a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, it's down 43 points on the day at 34,794. I'm amazed that they don't all panic out of this market right now at this point. But I think it's coming. I think it's just right on the edge. Taking a look at crude oil today, and we can see it's popping up at 87.63. I told you guys, so it'll hover around 80 for a while, and then when it moves to 90, it's going to move rather quickly. 87.63. Well, it's almost to 90. And it hits 90. You watch. It'll settle back down. It'll just doodle around 90 for a little while. It'll kind of dance around the 90 mark for a little while, and then she'll shoot up to 100. And you know where she's going? She's heading to 300. Imagine what that'll do to inflation. And it's going to be hard to get. They're going to be like waiting lines at the... You remember 1970s oil embargo thing? Well, this... What do we got going on right now? Saudi and Russia surprised with extended production cuts. There you go. So now taking a look at the bonds today, we're looking at the 10-year at, it's up 8.1 basis, wow, 8.1 basis points one day at 4.25 for the 10-year and 4.36 for the 30-year. It's up 7.8 basis points. Finishing off with the dollar index at 104.70. Can you imagine how much nicer it'd be, if this crisis hits, if they drop a big EMP over everything and it destroys all our electronics? How much nicer it'd be to be able to turn on and watch some cartoons or something? Or for me, maybe to settle me down and calm my nerves, I watch an ASMR video, or listen to some music when you're sitting there and all you got to eat is beans, cold beans. Worth every penny. Well, this is what I'm doing. I'm putting my kit away. I call it my kit. I just thought of this just last week. Didn't occur to me before, but I said, hey, I mean, everybody out there, we get hit with an EMP. Nobody's going to have any electronics or anything. It's going to be a quiet world. And after a week or two go by, you're going to be craving a little music or something, or to listen to the radio, and then nothing's going to work. Heck, wrap it with aluminum foil and wrap it good. And then after it's over, it'd be like open up Christmas time, like 4 or 5 days after the EMP hits. You make sure there's not going to be a second EMP. You wait a few days, because you don't want to have your electronics ruined the second time. And then you open up your Christmas gift. It's this aluminum box full of your laptop, or maybe a note, like one of these tablets, or even your phone. And it's all charged up and ready to go, and it still works. It works, and your solar panel works to charge it. And when you're not charging it, you can hook your solar panel up to your Jackery box, your power box, and charge it up. And then you got a 110 volt outlet. You can plug your shaver in and have a shave. Oh my gosh, you're being luxury compared to everybody else, especially if you got some food and water. It's amazing what things will become luxury if we get in a situation like that. And our leaders out there are slowly but surely pushing us down the gangplank toward all this crap. They're like a bunch of pirates behind us, and they got the point of their saber, and they're got us on the gangplank, and they're pushing us all out to the end. And we're looking down over the edges there, and we see all the sharks swimming around in the water. But none of us say anything. None of us protest or nothing. We're like, yes, sir. We walk off the end of the gangplank. Very obediently. We'll catch you guys in the next show. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.